Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says the Turkish military has, quote, neutralized dozens of Syrian government troops in retaliation for an attack on Turkish forces in Syria. Now, it comes after a Syrian attack killed 4 Turkish soldiers in Idlib province. A Syrian war monitor says at least 13 Syrian troops were killed by Turkey's retaliatory attacks. Turkey has had military observation posts in rebel-held Idlib since 2017, and they were set up under an agreement with Russia and Iran. Well, President Erdogan described the Syrian attack on Turkish forces as vile, and he said Syria's ally, Russia, had been told that Ankara would not stand to be prevented from responding to Syrian assaults.
The operation is underway at the moment. Around 40 points are now the constant targets of our operation. According to initial indicators, there are 30 to 35 Syrians on the other side who have been neutralized. However, the operation is not yet over.
For more on the story, we can speak to our correspondent in Istanbul, Dorian Jones. Hi, Dorian. What more can you tell us about this clash between Turkish and Syrian forces?
Well, that's right. This major retaliation by Turkish forces followed the killing of 4 Turkish soldiers and the injuring of several others. It is an ongoing operation. Around 40 targets are being targeted by, according to President Erdogan, heavy artillery and F-16 fighter jets. And it's an operation that is still continuing. Now, this confrontation has been growing fear in the region following this ongoing offensive by Syrian regime forces in Idlib, which is the last bastion stronghold of the rebel forces. Around 3 million people are believed to be trapped there, and as this ongoing offensive has been going, despite warnings by Ankara, the fear of a confrontation between 2 neighbouring countries over the Syrian civil war is now a growing concern, especially as this operation does appear to be still ongoing.
Dorian, we also heard President Erdogan warning Russia to essentially stand aside here. What is the risk of escalation?
Well, it does appear at the moment that Moscow does try to be kind to contain this. Now, Moscow is the key backer of Damascus. Its jets have been supporting this ongoing offensive in Idlib, but at the same time it does have good relations with Ankara. Now, Moscow has said that it's denied the president's claims of using Turkish jets in this offensive. It says Syrian airspace is still under the control of Russian forces. On top of that, it blamed Ankara, saying that these Turkish soldiers were killed because they didn't fail to notify Syrian forces of their movements. That is denied by Ankara. And I think that also crucially, Moscow hasn't condemned this operation so far. And I think behind the scenes, they are trying to contain it. We understand both sides do admit that Turkish and Russian generals and military are having talks. What those talks are, it's unclear. But Moscow realizes that they need to avoid a confrontation between Turkish and Syrian forces. Moscow and Ankara have been cooperating, and that cooperation followed the downing of a Russian jet by Turkish jets in 2015. Both sides realize they need to work together to contain this Syrian civil war. But as the end game does appear to be approaching in Syria, that balancing act for Moscow is proving increasingly difficult.
DW's Dorian Jones reporting from Istanbul. Dorian, good to talk to you.